Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Neil and Kara. We're out here still doing some stuff with the Mantis X10, having a lot of fun with this and learning a bunch. One of the things that we just did was a video on the recoil meter and how it works and how we can read the screens. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna shoot 5 different guns on the recoil meter and see what the data tells us about the differences. We've got a pretty cool set of guns here because we start at Chris's bougie VP9 that you saw a video of the other day with the comp on it, and he's got some custom springs in it, same ones that I use in mine. The DPM, is it DPM? DPM springs, yes. You know, that's going to be a really nice flat shooting gun. So we're going to see what that does with the recoil. Then we're going to go to the new VP9A1F. Then we're going to go to the K. Then we got Natalie's PX4 that we're going to do, and then we're going to finish off with the CC9, and we're going to see some differences. And we are going to see some differences. Smaller guns are a little more snappy, and recoil is going to be different. I'm going to be the shooter for all of these just so that we have one person's grip, and I'll do my best to be as consistent as I can and not cheat, because I know people are going to say that, but I'll give a good consistent set of grip here, and we're going to shoot 5 with each one, and then we're going to break these down and see what we see and why the recoil meter is actually kind of a cool thing. So, all right, you ready to start this one?
Perfect, you bet.
Dark Star Gear is one of the few companies that I trust to make holsters that I wear. They make high quality appendix carry holsters for a variety of firearms manufacturers. Check them out at the link in the description.
Okay, so the first one is Chris's VP9 Tactical. I call it the VP9B for bougie, because look at this thing, look at that big mag well. He's got really nice grips on. He's got their Jerkman style grips. This has got the copper back rail there. This is a nice gun. If Chris doesn't look, this might disappear. All right, are we connected to the thing?
Connecting right now. Calibrate. Good to go.
Okay, so I'm going to shoot 5 with this.
Whenever you're ready.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, that one is done, and then I dropped the mag. So what we saw...
That's interesting. It caught 7 shots.
Probably caught it when I dropped the mag.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
Could be. So we have 0.49 recovery.
Okay.
We have 9.29 muzzle rise. We have 14.73 recoil width.
Wow, okay.
And we have a 4.10 recoil angle.
Okay. So now if you watched the last video that we did, all of those hopefully make a little bit of a sense here, but we're writing all this down so when we wrap up, we'll kind of go through everything. So let me go to the F model, the full size. Now this is a stock VP9F. Okay, VP9F, here we go. Ready?
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it. Now that first shot, it picked up you racking the slide, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and delete the first shot.
Okay.
Okay. That way we've got accurate information.
Okay.
So we have a recovery time of 0.6, a muzzle rise of 18.56, a recoil width of 3.64, and a recoil angle of 12.88.
Now I'm beginning to wonder about my consistency.
Okay, next is the K.
Yep. And so now we're going to mount the K on the actual rail on the gun. Okay.
Gonna make sure you're loaded before I start it. There we go.
All right, I am ready when you are.
Okay, ready to go.
All right.
Okay, gonna stop it. So on that one, we have a 0.42 recovery time. We have an 8.47 muzzle rise. We have a 2.16 recoil width, and we have a 15.06 recoil angle.
Okay.
So
now,
PX4 Storm.
I don't know that I've shot Natalie's gun ever. Ooh, ooh. I don't hate this. All right, are we ready?
You're ready.
Ooh. That is, I think that's the first time I've shot this gun. I don't hate that at all.
Do you feel some different numbers?
I'm guessing there's going to be different numbers.
0.64 recovery time, 18.71 muzzle rise, 2.75 recoil width, and 4.11 recoil angle.
Okay, now with the CC9, this is the HK CC9, and I've got the EPS carry from Hollison that I put on there. First time I've ever used this dot much, and so it could take a little getting used to. But with the Mantis unit, you've got to put it on backwards so that it can connect to the rail, otherwise, because the gun's too short for it to actually lock on. So what you got to do is you got to go into the settings in Mantis and say, hey, I turned the Mantis unit around just so it knows what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot 5 with it now. Okay.
CC9, we're on backwards, shows in the drill backwards. You're good to go.
Ready to go? All right, here we go. Oh. Took me a minute. I lost my dot after the first shot, but it took me a minute. Did I get 5?
Yep, you got 5. I'm just waiting for it to make sure it's done calculating. There we go. Okay, recovery time, 0.17. Muzzle rise, 16.51. Recoil width, 3.84. And recoil angle, 9.70.
CC9 we got at the top here. So the first one is the recovery time. So
correct. We
saw that recovery time was different among all of them. 0.49 here, 0.6, 0.42, 0.64, 0.17. What is that indicating to us, Kara?
I don't know, other than maybe because your hands are very large on that small gun that you have enough grip on it that it's not recoiling much.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I wasn't looking from the side to see if that was validated in visual.
You know, I tried to be consistent, and yet when I was shooting here, I was shooting a little slower, I think.
Okay.
And as I picked up, so I'm seeing my sights a little bit faster. I do notice that if you look at the target, my hits opened up a little bit. I mean, that's a 4-inch pattern on those. So I mean, my hits are pretty decent hits, but that might just be that I wasn't as consistent as I could have been. Now the next one is
muzzle rise.
Muzzle rise. So with this comped gun, a 9 degree rise, or 9.29 degree.
But interesting.
But with the VP9K, I only did an 8.47, a little bit less. So now that potentially could have been that I warmed up a little bit. We just went to lunch and came back and got warmed up. Just could be that, things, I had a better grip. Shooting Chris's gun, who I've never shot before, is going to be a little bit different, but still that one, so this one might be just a bit off, but because I went to an 18, and then with the PX4 with Natalie's gun, I've got an 18% degree rise.
Right.
And with that little one, a 16. Again, maybe that's just my big hands can handle that little one just a little bit better. And Natalie's gun kind of threw me off, though. I was not ready for that trigger. That thing was nice, and I haven't shot that thing. I think that might be the first time I've ever shot your gun, Nat, so thank you. But there's some indicators here, and just because they aren't exactly like we would expect them to line up, the one consistent thing here was me and shooting the way that I shoot. We see that. What's the third number?
Recoil width. So that is how the degree in which, how much you deviated from that y-axis.
Okay, so the first one was a 14.73, which was pretty wide. Now that might just be because I'm not used to a comped gun and all of the differences that it's just gonna have a different recoil impulse. And Chris has some different grips that are gonna ride my hand a little bit differently, and I love the grips. I'm gonna get a set like he's got, but I have never shot that. So again, an indicator of, hey, there's something I can work on with that particular gun. Now the rest of them are much
pretty
lower.
Consistent.
In the 3s and 2s. And I just think that that's just because probably I'm just used to shooting those guns that way without that grip. So I think that's, again, a clue. Now, I have a hypothesis about Chris's gun, but I'd have to test it. So, Chris, I'm going to have to take your gun home and shoot it for about a month, and we'll see. I just got a thumbs up. If I could have somebody, I got a witness. All right. That is a nice gun. And then the recoil angle at 4. And then I got so that's interesting that with Chris's, I've got a real low recoil angle. And then with the F and the K, that went way higher. I'd have to make a hypothesis about what that is, but probably just grip and the way that I'm shooting the gun. With the PX4, I'm at a 4, and then the CC9, a 9. So with Natalie's, I didn't have hardly any angle with that at all. That gun just, it kind of jumped in my hands a little bit as per. You can see some of the other numbers, but I guess I just wasn't ready for that quick of a trigger. Man, that is a nice trigger that Ernest put in that gun. I'm gonna have to shoot that one more too. So again, I'm gonna have to take all you guys' guns home and spend some time with them. You guys can just go without for
Notice
a while.
Natalie did not give you a thumbs up.
Yeah, she didn't. But I'm her dad and I'm her ride home, so clearly it's going to happen, right? So guys, it's interesting data. This isn't, it isn't the biggest, most solid gun is going to shoot the actual best for me with that gun and those, it was all the same ammo, but with that gun, the compensator on it, the different kind of grips, that's how that shot for me. And while I tried to remain consistent through there, what we see is different data points from each of these, and I can work on every single one of them. So it's really cool data. And now that I kind of have an idea how to read it, I can now go make plans to get better. I'm going to be carrying a VP9F here soon. I've got that one pretty close to broke in. I'm going to put an SRO on it at some point, and then it'll probably become my carry gun. But I know there's some stuff that I need to work on, and I know how to work on it, and I know how to confirm that I've worked on it and that the data is going the way it wants to be. So, Kara, thank you.
You're
This was
welcome.
fun. Go do this. See you next time.